Ryan Day has spoken out on the upcoming matchup with the Wisconsin Badgers, urging the media, the fans, and most importantly, the players to not do one very important thing when it comes to this upcoming matchup with Wisconsin, and we got to break it all down. What's up, guys? I'm Matt Long. Welcome to Columbus Football 365. If you are not subscribed to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Only 3.6% of viewers are subscribed. Let's get that number up if you're an Ohio State Buckeye fan. But let's jump right into the news coming from Sports Illustrated. Wisconsin Badgers fans are feeling hopeless about their team's chances against number 1 ranked Ohio State on Saturday. But the Buckeyes are not going to look past their trip to Camp Randall Stadium. Ryan Day said they play hard and they're well coached. The easy thing to do is to look at their record or look at maybe what happened last week and think otherwise. When you turn on the film, last year they're playing LSU. This year they're playing Alabama. They're playing really good teams and they've been right there with a bunch of them. So a couple things we got to work out. I don't know if 38-14 is right there with Alabama, but the point that Ryan Day is trying to make also, when he said easy to look at what happened last week, Wisconsin lost 37-0 to Iowa. Their first time getting shut out by Iowa since I think it was like in the 1890s. It was a crazy long time since Iowa has shut out Wisconsin at Wisconsin, but that's something that's crazy that happened. Now, I know a lot of people or some people are unhappy with the way that this team's been coached so far, but Ryan Day, this is exactly what you need to be saying. You never want to give your opponent bulletin board material, no matter how good or how bad they are. If you remember, arguably the best coach in the history of the NFL, Bill Belichick, something that he would always do. I'm a Jet fan, something he would always do, no matter how bad we were, he would come out and be like, that's a really good team. They got X, Y, and Z player. They're all really good. And I would be like, we're not that good, but I appreciate that this coach is saying that. And it's sending a message to his players that the teams that we're playing are still going to be talented. That matters a lot in the NFL, and it also matters when you're playing in a conference that is as tough as the Big Ten. Wisconsin, right now, they're having a really tough year. Going to bring up their last 4 matchups, all 4 of them against FBS opponents, Power 4 opponents. They lost all of them. Starting with that Alabama game, Wisconsin was feeling pretty good. They're coming off a win versus Middle Tennessee State. They were 2-0 on the season and then fell flat against an Alabama team that already had a loss to a, at the time, unranked Florida State team. So Wisconsin probably thought they had a big opportunity to do something and then fell flat on their face versus Bama. Then they dropped their next 3 games against Maryland, against a team up north, and then against Iowa. But guys, we can't overlook anyone in the Big Ten. Every single team, I want to say every single team is pretty good, but I watched 5 Wisconsin games earlier this week and today in preparation to make a video of this type. And what I'm seeing is right now, they're a football team that has already started 3 different quarterbacks. They say if you have 2 quarterbacks, that means you really have none. So if you have 3, what does that tell you? They've suffered from some injuries. I believe their number 1 wide receiver is still dealing with an injury, but not like the receivers are really going to matter. The number 1 thing that Wisconsin is going to try to do is run the football. If we're able to stop the run versus Wisconsin, they're not going to be able to do anything against Ohio State's number 1 ranked defense in the country. That in terms of points scored against Michigan. Michigan was not able to run right up the middle against Wisconsin. So I was watching that. I was thinking maybe Ohio State's going to have to avoid that and try to run along the outside. But then the next week, Iowa was able to run right down their throats the entire game. So I really don't know what to make of the defensive line from Wisconsin. But back to the offense, their quarterbacks, all of them are really struggling in the pass game. They want to run the ball to set up their play action, but depending on which game you watch, some of the games they weren't able to get their run game started. And if their run game doesn't get started, their pass game doesn't work at all, because if you are play actioning and no one's respecting the run, then all you're doing is wasting time. The quarterback is looking at the running back and reading other things other than reading the defense. And part of the play action game is you want to turn that into shot plays, but their quarterbacks really don't have strong arms. So the shot plays, there was against the team up north, they threw an interception because a shot play was open, but it wasn't thrown far enough. Also, if you've seen the play that I'm talking about, probably got some helps from the officials, but it's been really tough for Wisconsin. If Ohio State is able to stop the run, I don't expect this team to be at all a problem. We should be able to go crazy on them. But speaking about this Ohio State defense, is anyone noticing how well Arvell Reese has been playing? I love following the NFL draft, and Arvell Reese is someone that is skyrocketing up every single, draft list, every website, every expert that I see online, every expert that I talk to myself. Everyone loves what they're seeing from linebacker Arvell Reese in terms of his NFL talent and what he could be at the next level. That's something else that excites me about this defense when Matt Patricia continues to put it all together. We know all about Sonny Styles, but now we know he has an elite running mate in the linebacker room right next to him all along to go with Mr. Caleb Downs on the back end. But this defense should absolutely be able to squeeze that Wisconsin offense. If, like I said before, if you can make the run game not work, that play action game is also going to falter. So Wisconsin, they're going to have to move into what they tried to do against Michigan, which is on their first drive, they had a lot of quick passes that was able to give them a really, really impressive first drive of that football game where they moved down the field and scored their one and only touchdown of the game. What they did is they did a lot of little spot concepts, little 5-yard curls, turn around. The quarterback got the ball out really, really fast, and Michigan opened that up for them by blitzing both of their linebackers over in the middle of the field, and that opened up gaps in the middle of their defense for the quarterback just to throw some nice, easy, pretty much checkdowns, but they weren't really checkdowns because they were the number one read on those plays, and they should have been because it was the hot route or just the best way to beat the blitzes that Michigan was bringing. So Ohio State has to make sure that they're not leaving open the easy passes for these quarterbacks, and whoever the starting quarterback is going to be this weekend for Wisconsin, they're really going to struggle throwing past the second level, especially when we have some lockdown corners like Davidson, Igmanosin, and Lorenzo Styles. All we got to do is play tough defense. We're going to come out in some press coverage because we don't want these Wisconsin receivers to have the opportunity to catch short passes. We want to test out the quarterback's arm. If Wisconsin wants to throw the ball deep and they're able to get it out on time before the blitz gets there accurately from their quarterback and they can still get behind our defense, then they deserve to have it. I mean, they're not going to be able to live like that. This offense, like I said, I don't want to look over them. Ryan Day saying don't look over them, but it looks really, really bad on paper. Currently, the Wisconsin Badgers are a 25.5 point underdog to the Ohio State Buckeyes, even if we are playing in the state of Wisconsin on their home turf. That is really disheartening as a Power 4 program for Wisconsin, but hey, all we can do, I'm not going to sit here and worry about other programs. Ohio State has to go out and handle business again. Got to focus on going 1-0 each and every week. Don't worry about the scores that Wisconsin has either won by or lost by so far. The only score that matters in terms of Ohio State versus Wisconsin is what happens this weekend. So, got to make sure everything is prepared when it comes to your team preparation. Got to make sure the scouting report's pretty good. I mean, just stop the run, force the quarterback to beat him with his arms, not his legs, and Ohio State's defense should be just fine. This is exactly the right message being sent from Coach Ryan Day. But that's what I got for this video. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel, and go Buckeyes.